you're not supposed to dump your grease down a sink, but we all know that our old ladies do it without us knowing. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So it's an absolute hurricane out here just after Christmas. So we're gonna head down to the basement where it's nice and warm, and we're gonna drill some holes through for some sewer drains. So let's get in there and get started. Uncle Jamie and Cousin Tim are here. We're gonna get them holes drilled.
One beautiful hole.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice hole. So that hole turned out really nice. Here's the core out of it. So it's really cool how this drill works. It actually suctions to the wall, and that's what holds it to the wall while it cuts. As you can see, the dark center of that concrete, that wall's not cured all the way through yet. You really see it when it was wet. Let's really get it wet. Yeah. See how dark that center is? That wall's still curing after all this time. Pretty interesting. There's a sealer on the outside. Well, fast forward a couple days here. We got these holes drilled. And in fact, it is January 1st, so this will be the first video of the new year. We had to end up going to Menards and get some more fittings, so didn't end up utilizing these holes that same day that we drilled them, which is all right because it let the water dry up on the floor and kind of just things dried up a little bit. So a viewer did ask why we didn't put sleeves in, and the simple fact of the matter is we kind of forgot to do it. But at the same time, we wouldn't have known exactly where we wanted them at that time because we proposed putting the septic tank in a couple different positions on the end of the house. And it kind of came down to, do we go out of the south wall or we go out of the north wall? Well, we picked going out of the south wall because that allows us to put our tank in a position where it will catch my shop. And also, it is out of the way, and the leach field is out of the way if we ever decide to add on to the east end of this house. So, kind of worked out in our favor to just do the holes after the fact. If you don't have access to a core drill or anything like that, you might want to try to figure out where you want these before you pour. But being we have access to all that extra tooling, it was no big deal for us to not have the sleeves put in. So kind of made things a little more customizable and made things a little bit easier. But like I said, kind of forgot in the heat of the moment, just kind of forgot about it, didn't do it, but it worked out in the end anyway. So, all right, so what we need to do is I'm going to start doing some pipe work. As you can see, I've already done some pipe work. I started over there, caught them drains, come around, caught these drains, and now I'm to the point where I need to go out the wall. So we still got our foam. If you remember from when we were backfilling around the basement, we've got 2 layers of 1-inch foam. We got to get through that. So I'm going to simply just take a 3.5-inch hole saw, and I'm just going to cut through that foam. I've dug down on the outside of the house with a shovel, found where I want to come out. I got this long extension. The doctor said I need to get away from my work a little bit. Did we get through one layer? Yeah. Go. Well, it's not wanting to come out of there. Let me get this peeled out of the end of the. I think we got too much poked in that right now. Thought that would peel right out of there, but I guess not. Just make a mess in the basement, whatever. Crazy that 2024 is over already and we're already into 2025. So happy New Year, everybody. I got a piece of 16-inch piece of 3-inch. What we're going to do is once we get outside the house, we are going to up this to 4-inch, and then everything outside will be 4-inch. See if this will, oh yeah, nice. That'll be great. All right, I can start gluing some fittings together and get all this put together. Well, now we got our hole opened up, we can start figuring out our fittings. We're going to go with a 16-inch length of 3-inch pipe. We're going to go with a 3-inch sanitary tee, just like so. And I also want to put a clean out in that. So I'm going to put a 3-inch cap here. And then I'll be able to go in through there and clean that out if need be. So now I can get all this glued up and we can get started. So my Uncle Jamie's going to drop me off some hydraulic cement to work in around here and seal back around this pipe, because we are going to be below dirt and stone grade out there. Well, we're going to have landscaping stone, so we want this to be sealed up very well. So if there is ever any water along the house, it's not going to find our hole and come back in our basement. So we'll get that sealed up, and then won't ever have that issue, and it'll also keep any rodents, insects, anything like that out. Won't have to worry about it. So while I get this glued up, this first pieces we're going to put together here, I'm going to put up some video of the well getting drilled. I know I didn't talk about it yet, but our well is put in outside. The casing is drilled in. Fletcher's well drilling from here in Knox came out, and them guys did a wonderful job of getting the well put in. So, well, they have to come back and they actually have to drop the pump in and bring everything in the house. But at the time we didn't have the sub panel down here. So there was no electric to hook it up yet. So they're gonna get that done here in next week. And we'll have water supplied to the house. So I did take a few videos while they were in the drilling process. So I'm gonna throw them up here while I glue these up, and you can enjoy those. So our well is 95 feet deep. That's where they found a good vein of water that they liked. So we are going to have water here soon. So that's a good thing. Every house needs good water. So enjoy that while I glue these up. We have water. Well, hopefully you enjoyed watching them guys get the well put in. That was just part of the process. I didn't video the whole thing because that was when I wasn't feeling very good. And I didn't stay out in the cold the whole entire time. But them guys do a really good job. Now make sure with your sanitary tee you get that curved the right direction to go out. Oh, I got a little glue and the dust on the floor, but that's all right. Turn your fitting just a little bit as it glues. There we go. Now, don't get any glue on that or you won't get it back out. Let's leave that loose for now. All right, so as soon as my Uncle Jamie gets here, I can get that hydraulic cement. I'll get that secured in the wall and sealed around, and then we'll continue on. Well, my Uncle Jamie dropped off a bucket of hydraulic cement, and that's what we're going to use to seal around that PVC. So we'll get us a little bit out of the bucket here. I'm going to try to do both of them. Hopefully it don't cure too quick on me. Start with that. This stuff does work pretty fast. I really like working with it though. Put a little water in it. Mix it up. I do want it a little bit runny so I can get it in there. Now we use this on inverts and manholes for round pipe and stuff like that to seal it up. I like doing those. Haven't done much of that work in a while. Did a lot of actual pipe work, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, water main, stuff like that when I was in high school, and I'd help my Uncle Jamie on at night and on the weekends. So learned that stuff. Learned a lot about that stuff. I just made a mess. Installed a lot of fire hydrants. Yeah, we're getting there. I don't know if you can see it. That might work. All right, take it over there and see what we can do. Go ahead and pull that out. Get it packed in there. Made it kind of runny so it would run down around there. kind of let that set up a little bit and I'll get it worked in there. I'll get my level. Right there. That looks good. All right, I'm gonna let that set up a little bit. We'll go do the other one real quick. Well, there we go. It's all sealed up, and that hydraulic cement's setting up pretty quick. I mean, it's pretty firm right now. I think I might leave these set overnight before I try to plumb to them, because I'd hate to break it out of the wall already or move it or whatever. But I went through with a piece of wood and I cleaned up everything that I had gotten around it. It looks pretty good. Sealed up, did the outside, did the inside. Got the other one done. The other one, it's so busy in that corner, I didn't set the camera up because everything's kind of tight in there and there's not much room to get the camera in to get a good view of what I was doing. But that other one is done and it's sealed up also. So let these dry and then I'll be able to continue my plumbing. Well, we can start gluing some pipe together. This cured pretty quick and I'm pretty confident that it's not going to move. So I've got a lot of my pieces of pipe already primed. So we can start slipping some stuff together here. Get my glue. We're going to start right here. There's that one. Now we're going to go with this T here. We're going to catch the drains from the master bathroom on this side, and then we'll catch the drains from the kitchen on this other side. Can't talk tonight. We also want to take into consideration we have this right so they're dumping down and not trying to ramp up. This one's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. Glue all over the place. We need to glue both of these pretty much at the same time as we go. Let's see this side. Use plenty of glue, we don't want no leaks. Now I need to connect that to that toilet flange into that drain right there. So hopefully this all goes together the way I think it will. I hope. We're going to start with this piece right here. There we go, there's that. Now, we need a 90 on that. Something like that right there. Something like that right there, and we got to make all this come together. That might be fun. See what we can do here. I have to work pretty fast to do it. Let's see. So. Well, now we'll glue the final piece of this together. I had a little bit of a rough time with that, but I got it. Things were a little bit short, but I was able to get things to move, and I got it the way I need it. Now we got to put this here, and then a T in there to catch that, like so. Go ahead and glue that up. Glue that up a little bit. Get that in there, like so. And we'll have to bow that up a little bit so we can get our fall that we want. Go. Nice. Should work just fine. I put quite a bit of fall on that just so I know that it'll keep that rinsed out. Now all we gotta do is add the clean out to the end. I tried to put these clean outs everywhere I possibly could. So that way if something gets blocked, you can run one of those little drain snakes down it and clean it out. So these are pretty cheap insurance, really. If you put one wherever you possibly can, sure makes it nice. There we go. So master bathroom is all connected to the sewer line going out. Now all we need to do is get the kitchen connected, and then we're done on this end of the house. Well, let's start with our 2-inch line over here. I've got some plumber strap, just temporary up there, just to help me hold it up. Since I am working by myself, it definitely helps to have a plumber strap there temporarily. That. Starting to run a little low on glue. Have to start tipping the can to get it off the bottom. Got some more somewhere. Turn that red lettering up a little bit. I wish the primer wouldn't run all over the place like it does. It needs to be a little bit thicker, some kind of like almost a gel. It runs so fast because it's so thin. Alright, there we go. That's it, that in. Now we got to come down here and figure out this end. This is going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to take some fittings. because not only are we going to catch the sink, but we're actually going to catch the condensation from the furnace and air conditioning. So that's going to go into there, and then we're going to have a clean out also on this line too, so that we can run the drain snake in there if we have to. So I got to get all this up in there and glued in. So let me get all this primed up. I got everything primed up. We're going to get started with this T right here. Get some glue on him. Some glue on our pipe here. Looks good like that. Turn just a hair. Now, gotta figure out which combination of elbows we want here. Thinking that one right there is gonna work. So we're gonna use 2 street 90s so we can keep things up close and keep things high so we can keep plenty of fall. Good right there. Now from all this water from here on is just pure water. There's no solids in it. Unless the old lady tries to flush a ham down the sink or something like that. I don't know, you never know. Flush a pork chop down the sink. There we go. That looks good. Get some plumber strap up here and strap that up. We got a nice amount of fall down there to keep that line flushed out. So maybe if some grease gets dumped down the sink drain, like happens sometimes, you're not supposed to dump your grease down the sink, but we all know that our old ladies do it without us knowing. So maybe with that amount of fall in there, it'll keep it rinsed out real nice. So I'll get that strapped up right there, that'll look good. Put a strap a little farther down. Temporary strap done its job to help me out. Now all I gotta do is prime up the rest of the fittings for that T here for the condensation, and we'll have it. That'll work. I'll hold that up real nice. Okay, so we're gonna assemble our last little bit of pipe here for this section. Get some glue in there. I'm gonna put a short length of pipe between the last T. Oh, that one didn't want to go. That way we have a little distance, so if that water comes back a little, it's not going to plug up our line for our condensation pump or anything like that. You never know if she tries to stuff a pork chop down the drain and it blocks the water for a little bit, and before it builds up enough pressure to push it through. You know, we don't want to push water back through that condensation line and end up with a pork chop in our A-coil. You just never know. You never know what goes on when you're not home. I have to get me another thing of glue. We're running out. I I have some out in the shop. Put that in there like so. Just like that. And there we go. Now we can thread our pipe, our hose barb in here. This is pipe thread. Thread a hose barb in there and connect our hose to our condensation pump. Now all you gotta do is glue that to there and we'll have it. Now I know out there somewhere there's probably a real plumber that's not too impressed with my work here, but hey, I'm trying. I'm learning. I'm not a plumber by trade, but hey, I know how to put some pipe together and I know how to lay some pipe. There we go, that looks good. We can get our cap off so that we can clean that line if we have to. We got plumber strap here, I got one put in down there. So that length is supported. Turned out real nice if you ask me. And by doing what I did here, I will be able to finish out this basement eventually and hide that in the wall rather easily. I can also change that cap out and put one of the inverted ones in where you have to stick a like a big Allen wrench in there or just a 3/4 drive ratchet to turn it out, and we can eliminate some of this sticking out right here and maybe take a wall pass there. Before, the way I had it, it was just way out and it looked terrible. I know that might be a no-no to use 90s like that. Should have probably used 45s, but at least that'll keep that up higher. And really, it's a short distance. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Plus, there's plenty of fall. It falls straight down out of there. So, you know, I think it'll be all right. So, all right, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to head home, and I'll tackle the rest of that down there later. I don't feel like doing it tonight. So, all right, we'll continue on the video when I get back at it. Well, it's a few days later, and we're gonna start plumbing here on the west end of the house. We got the east end of the house all finished up. So we're gonna start our drain plumbing down here. So we've got our fitting in the wall that's gonna go out to the septic and leach field. So we gotta go from there, we gotta go up, straight across with 3-inch, and we're gonna run 3-inch straight across to the toilet in the bathroom. And then we're going to run some 2-inch from the bathroom vanity, a vent, and then we have our bathtub up there that we need to hook up into this drain. And then we also need to hook up another vent and this vent also is plumbed into the discharge for the washing machine in the utility room. And then we have our other laundry tub here in the laundry room. So we got to hook all this up and run it out there. Plus, we're going to put a T in right here that can connect to the sump pump. And that'll also take out the water from the laundry tub that I want to put down here eventually. I'll run that water into the sump pit, pump it out of the sump pit, and go right into there and go outside. So let's get started. Well, we're going to start with a short section pipe and our 3 to 2-inch T. I got part of that glued together already. Excuse my primer all over the place. Get some glue in there. Might have to go get some more glue. I'm about out. There's that. Now we're going to go ahead and put another short piece of 3-inch pipe. like so. Now we're going to put a 3-inch 90-degree elbow on top of that. So just to make things a little simpler, I ended up putting my section of 3-inch that I need next in my 90, since I've already got some plumber strap up to hold it. So I did mock a lot of this up to begin with. Get some good amount of glue on that. Get some glue up here. Oh, I make a mess, don't I? There we go. Now, shove that through our plumber strip. And hold it straight where we want it. Let it set for a second. That looks good right there. I like it. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw that little 2-inch stub on there. I got to get a cap for it, but at least with this, we can cut it off and do whatever we need to do later. I need to get the rest of my outlets run down here and get this electric box put together. I do have boxes I'm just going to tack onto the walls. Glue. There we go. So I'll get a cap for that and cap that. Then we'll just cut that off and start over whatever we want to do with it later. It looks pretty good so far. I like it. Now we can move over here and get started from here on. Well, now this joint's probably going to be a fun one. So it's nice that I got my plumber strap up there already, because that's going to help me hold my 3-inch pipe while I get this sanitary tee in, long sweep tee, 90. Glue these up real good. Now I didn't put glue on both sides of that one because I smeared quite a bit on it. This makes it easier being up here above my head. I don't really think it's really necessary to have glue on both pieces because I've done it all different ways, put pressure to this pipe before out on the trommel and never had anything blow apart or leak. This don't even have any pressure on it, so should be perfectly fine. Plumbing's simple. Shit goes down and clean water goes up. Oops. Oh, got it on my shirt, darn it. Nasty. Need an apron. There we go. Looks good. Everything's staying together the way it should be. I'm happy with that. Looks good. Now we can continue on. Now we're going to get into a little bit more complicated fittings here. I need to get this put up as, I'm going to put this up as one chunk. So in order to get this T clocked right with this drain coming out of the floor, I went ahead and I marked it right here on this cross so that I can glue this together down here and stick it up there all at once. So this was a used cross that I had. Well, it's not necessarily used, but it was just laying around for a while. But I'm going to put a clean out in here. That way I can clean all this stuff out if need be. So wherever I can put a clean out, I'm going to put a clean out just to make life a little bit easier. So I'm going to get this glued up, and then we'll get this stuck on the end of our 3-inch line here over by the stairs. We're just going to go ahead and put this together a piece at a time here, just so we know we get everything right. I got a suspicion maybe some things aren't going to fit quite the way I wanted them to. We'll try it though. There's that one. Go ahead and put this on. We'll go ahead and do both ends on this one. Better get that right. Work fast on this one. Oops. There we go. That'll work. I like it. That looks good. That tipped it a little bit, gives us a little bit of fall. I like it. Now we got to get all this up in here, which shouldn't be a problem. Looks like it'll be rather easy. I'll have to trim some stuff, but get this first part glued up and then figure out what we need from there. Oh yeah, that's gonna look real good. I'm liking the way I did this so far. Well, it's time to get creative with this one. Got some marks to go by. The women are upstairs painting, so if you hear somebody talking besides me, there's that. Make sure that stays. That's got to go right here. Let's get this out of the way for right now. That can get glued in there. Like so. perfect. That turned out nice. So we're down to the last little bit of 3-inch pipe we have. We got that all put in. That's all done. Turned out great. Now we're going to get these glued together. This is what actually is going to connect the toilet to our 3-inch main line through this end of the house. Hopefully we got enough glue to get finished up here. We should. That will go up between the floor joists, between this PEX, and stick in the toilet flange. The interesting thing about these toilets is there's only like a 2-inch opening that actually dumps into this. So, I don't know, not a very big hole. A lot of stuff comes out that small hole, it seems like. The upstairs is just about painted and done. Alright, let me adjust the camera and we'll get this put in. With a little bit of luck, this will go together easy. Oh, I forgot to prime that. Let that dry for a second. Get it crammed together. All right, let's see what happens. Now it's very important to get this part really sealed up because we don't want turds on the train layout. Let's put it that way. See how this goes. Get it started. Oh, perfect. Nice. I'm happy with that. All went pretty fast. There for a second I was second guessing myself if that was going to work, but should work just fine. And if it doesn't, I'll blame it on the government. All right, just some 2-inch to do and we are finished. Now we're going to get started here. We're going to put a 3-inch to 2-inch bushing in, and that's going to allow us to drop pipe size, and then that's going to give us a little more fall to get our drain for our washing machine and vent hooked into this. Because before, if I tried to go in the top of this with anything, it just wasn't going to work out because it wouldn't allow me to have enough room up in there for fittings to get low enough to get some fall on that and be able to make it drain properly. So we'll go ahead and glue our bushing here. Get some glue up there in that 3-inch T like so. Nope. That's glued in. that glued in. We're going to start with a short section of 2-inch pipe. That, for some reason, really wants to push that out. We'll hold that till the chemical reaction happens and sticks it fast. All right, I'll get my next fittings primed up and we'll get them put together. Well, we're gonna put some more of the puzzle together. I ended up having to leave and I went and got some more glue and had to go feed the steers that I'm fattening out. They're actually going to the butcher this coming Monday. So I'm getting them ready to go. Go ahead and get these fittings put together. Just like so. There's that one. And I'm gonna wait until March or April to get another batch of steers to fatten out. Gonna try to get all this stuff done and out of the way. I'm not dealing with cows while I'm trying to finish all this up. And actually I've got 2 heifers spoken for. My buddy Mike had some heifer calves that he wants to get rid of. And I told him that I'd be interested in them to get started on my cow-calf herd. So, gonna get some fence built here at the new place and actually start raising some cows instead of just fattening them out. So I'm pretty excited about that. Something Madison and I have been wanting to do. So we're gonna do it. Now, get this glued up in there and get our T glued on. And another piece of the puzzle ready to go. Once we get this all finished up, the next video will actually be outside doing the septic system, which I am looking forward to that because I like moving dirt. And when you do septics and leach fields, you get to move some dirt, do some digging, use some excavators, the fun stuff. I don't mind doing this plumbing stuff, but you know, my heart's in running heavy equipment, so definitely that is my cup of tea. That is my, what do you call it, forte or whatever? I don't know what the word is, fancy words, you know. All right, so we cracked open our new can of glue here. We'll be doing leach fields and septics like that Diesel and Iron guy from Michigan. The champion of the National Operators League competition. I was doing septics and leach fields when he was still a baby in diapers. Oh, yeah, he's older than I am. Really, years of experience wise though, I don't think he's older than me. Got a few years on him in that field. A few hours on him. Nice guy though. There we go. Look at that. I got that Tia hair crooked. That's all right. Huh. I am glad that is done. That was another connection that I was a little bit worried about, but turned out real nice. I like it. Now I had to run it back this way a little bit in order to make it all work, but looks good, turned out nice. I like it. All right, so we get our last section of pipe on here, and then we're just about finished up. There's one last thing to do. Well, last connection here. Let's see how this goes. If I can remember how I wanted to do it. I believe I wanted to go like this. And like that. Yep, that's how I want to do it. Alright. Like that. Bring that down and out. Something like that, I think. And then this one. So that should be it. Everything looks good. I'm happy with it. I have to strap that up with some plumber strap around here just to hold that up some. All right. Good. That'll stay up there. Well, here we go. Last piece, and the plumbing inside the house is officially done until I decide to hook up sump pump or utility sink or something like that. But other than this, the plumbing is finished. Put water to it. We put water to the house. We'll have running water, and we'll be able to get rid of the water out of the house. So here it is, last piece. I'm even gonna put the words on the cap so you can see them. Oh, look at that, perfect, look at that. There we go. Thank you for watching, greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And the quicker we get all this done is the quicker that we can go out and do shop projects. So I've disciplined myself on not starting any shop projects other than things that need to absolutely be done to keep myself in here and get this stuff done. Because if not, I'll be running wild and doing all kinds of stuff and not getting anything accomplished. So the next things that need to be done are the septic and leach field. Got to get the Bilco door done. And then I've hired out the rest of the HVAC. I got a friend of mine that's going to come do all the cold air returns. He's going to finish that up for me. And he's going to run the gas lines because he has a Milwaukee Pro Press. And it's easier for him to do all the black piping and Pro Press it. And he can do that quicker than I can thread it. And I don't have to mess with bringing a rigid pipe threader down here and making a mess with threading oil and all that. So sometimes it's just easier to let guys that do it for a living do it on their own, get it done out of the way. So thank you for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.